Okay, welcome to this tutorial which deals with chapter number 3 named Creating and Managing Content. So in this chapter we're going to have a look at how to add content to your Moodle course. So let me just go back quickly with you into an aspect that you have seen in the previous chapter, in which is called editing mode. So when you turn your editing on, this is what you get, a number of magical, as I always call them, icons appearing. So you have two others appearing here. So we have here this one called add a resource and another one called add an activity. So in this chapter we're going to have a look at this one called adding a resource, and these are some of the tools, resources we can add. We can either compose a text page, compose a web page, create a link to a file or website, display a directory, or insert labels. So this is what we're going to see in chapter number 3 related to creating and managing content. So the following in this week. So the following weeks after that, we're going to have at the other one related to adding activities, and we're going to have a look at some of these then. So the first thing you can have or you can add is to compose a text page. A text page is a simple plain text page with little formatting, as you see in here. So this is all what you can do. You can't format it much more than that. So if you just click on create or compose a text page, so this is what you get. As shown in your chapter number 3. So you can add a name, summary, and this is the area where you can add your text, and you can see here that there are no tools to help you edit your text. That's why it's called plain text, okay, page. Then adding a web page. Adding a web page is something you are going to have something similar to this. The only difference is that in this area you are going to have more things to do about your text. So you're going to see here, this is what you get. So you have a number of editing buttons that you can use in order to format your text. So just be careful using the inline HTML editor. So this is what we mean by HTML editor. It appears only with some browsers. Some others it doesn't appear. So the Moodle HTML editor doesn't work in all browsers currently. It works in Netscape 7, Internet Explorer 5.5 or later, Mozilla 1.7 and Firefox. It doesn't work in Safari, Camino or Opera, but since you are usually use Mozilla or Firefox, so I think you won't have a problem with that. So this is a very important note to draw your attention to it in this regard. Now, concerning the editor, this called here the inline HTML editor, so the number of things you can do, for example, change the font and then change the font size, the style. You can use heading, number 1, different types of headings, bold, italic, underline, strike through, superscript or subscript, left, center, right, or fully justify, number or bullet list, etc. Now, the next thing you can do is when you add the content to this page, so how do you want this page to open for your students? So in this regard, there are a number of options you can play with and configure the way that you like. To display a resource in a window, so this is what you get, okay? Let me just tell you. So when you are adding content, your page is related to the window. So after you click on show settings, so either you click on here so that it opens in the same window, or you click here and then it can open a new window, and here you have some other parameters that you can change as you like. So either you allow the window to be resized or no. So if you tick it, so it's going to be resized. If not, it's not going to be resized, and so on and so forth. So this is related to the way how you want your pages, text page, web page, whatever page, to be open for your students. And here you have a description and the role of each type of option you can change. Okay. Next resource you can add is create a link to a file or website. So either you can upload files into your course. So here you can have different types of files. So if you click on adding link to a file website, this is what you get. So you get this here, so you can put a name, summary, and then here you search for a web, or if you know the link, you can just copy the link and paste it here automatically. Or if you want to add the resource like a document, so here you go to choose or upload a file like you do in attachments, email attachments. So you go to your desktop or wherever in your computer, and then you choose whatever file you want to attach your email. So the same thing applicable here, and then you can add that resource. So here, when you click on this button here, so choose or upload a file when you want to add a link or file or website, this is what you get. So you get here, and then what you can do is click on this next button, upload a file, and then it is uploaded somewhere in here depending on alphabetical order, and then after that you choose, and then it appears in here, and then after that you just click save. Adding a directory. This is another resource that you can add in your or create in your course. So you can add what we call a directory. So how do you do that? So you click on it, display a directory, okay, and then you put a name, summary, and then you choose which file that you have here. So you see, this is something that you do on your own. Whenever you upload a document, it appears somewhere in here. So then you choose which file you want to add. You want folder 1 or whatever. So if you choose on main files directory, so you are going to have all this appearing for your students. So this is what your students get when you create this or you display this directory. So they click on it, and then they have all this appearing for their students, viewing the directory as students do. Now, creating links to other websites. So here you just click on the same button you have there. It is creating, creating a link to a file, a website. This is what you get again. Recapitulating. So instead of clicking on this one, choose or upload a file, you click on, you can add here a link to a website. Then that's it. So you click here, and then you add your website. Some parameters. So here I suggest that you don't go through this for the moment. You do it later on. Then the other point in this chapter is managing and updating your content. So in your course, on the left side of your course, you have the administration block. So here you have these buttons. So if you want to manage all the things that you upload in the server, so you can have direct access to those files here, PDF files, documents, PowerPoints, videos, images, etc. So you just click on here, and then you go to those files, and then delete which ones you want to delete, organize like you do in your computer. For example, sometimes it happens that you have a number of files on your desktop. So what do? You start organizing those files. So for example, you have images, you create a folder you call images, and then you put all those images in there. You have videos, you create, for example, a file called videos, and then you put all those videos in that file, and so on and so forth. So the same thing is applicable for all the things that you upload into the server, your Moodle server, for your courses. Then these are some of the things you can do. So move to another folder, delete completely, create a zip archive, etc. Unzip, list, restore. So you see here, this next to each one you have unzip, list, restore, rename, edit, rename, etc. Now, one of the things that teachers usually face is that sometimes they change the versions of some documents that they upload into their course. Usually this is applicable for syllabi, okay, syllabi. Now, for example, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc., you start modifying your syllabus. Now, how are you going to do about this? So are you going to put the same name for your syllabus? So one of the things, this section here suggests for you some of the things you can do in order to help you organize yourself better. So here it suggests that, for example, you can call your syllabus and you give it a name followed by the date it was first created, and then syllabus followed by the date it was then changed. Effective content practices. So here it talks about the types of files you can add. So RTF, these formats include RTF, hypertext markup language, PDF, picture formats, PICT, TIFF, SPEG, GIF, and PNG. In addition to other formats. So here you have a description of each type of file that you can add. So if you have a description here, etc. PowerPoint files, audio files, MP3, video files, etc. and how they are managed into your Moodle course. Now, another thing you have to be careful as well when you are creating your courses is that you have to be careful about the size of the files that you upload into the server of your Moodle course, like in your computer. So when you add a lot of heavy files, so what happens that your computer starts to be heavy and doesn't upload for the students quickly. So in order to avoid this problem, what he suggested to be done, a number of strategies in the chapter I mentioned in this chapter, like for example, strategy 1, save your PowerPoint presentation as RTF. The next thing is scan articles as text, not images. Usually we have articles, and then what we do is just we scan them, and when we scan them they are like images, and images we know that they are heavy. So in order to avoid this, instead of scanning the articles as images, you can scan them as texts using this kind of optical character recognition tools. The other strategy is reduce your image size and use compression. For example, compress images, whatever files, into zip files, etc., and then upload them that way onto the server. Another thing you have in this chapter is related to creative content, how you can make the content that you create, add to your course creative, so for your students. So one of the things talked about in this chapter is uploading lecture notes. The next one is external notes. And I let you go through this chapter in detail and learn about how to do all that and follow those strategies effectively. And then you will be asked later on to apply these things into your Moodle courses. Thank